round of fertiliser on those fields, either later this year or spring next year. It's probably something we can do as soon as the ground unfreezes. I guess unfreezes. I want to say it melts, but yeah, ground doesn't melt. So yeah, when the ground ceases to be frozen, we could probably fertilise those grass fields again. If we make enough money eventually, we might get into pellet production. But for right now, that's not going to be happening, I don't think. I think I'd also like to get a telehandler for the farm. I've been watching Ollie's farm, and he got his John Deere with a front loader, but he's decided it's not as good as having a telehandler for the sort of work he does. I messed that up, didn't I? Let's try again. I think after last week's episode, I ended up watching a YouTube video on potato farming. And one of the problems with the potato harvesting equipment is its awful working width. And I can demonstrate that once we put the tractor away and have nothing better to do. I did not watch Arthur's stream last night. I was already heading to bed. It had been a long day. Plus, I kind of like to be awake for my stream in the morning. As the last couple of Fridays, I didn't even notice when his notification came out, so that's kind of probably wasn't even online when the notification got sent out, but the last couple of weeks his Friday streams have been a sort of notification comes out and it's sort of, yeah, I'm just shutting down and going to bed because I've had a long day. Okay, so that's that done. Pop that. So yeah, for a farm like this, I would consider doing beets or potatoes. Now the thing is, if we look at the beet technology, non-motorized beet technologies. See, the working width on this is 3 meters. The working width on this is 3 meters. You can put them together, but you're talking 180, 260. You need over 270 horsepower. We got 2 tractors with that, so we could do it. Ordinarily, I would send a small tractor out with this on the front, narrow wheels, and top the field, and then go out with a big tractor hauling this thing, or at least a medium-sized tractor hauling this thing. But it's a 3 meter working width and 6,000 litre capacity in the tank. I think the rest of that is whatever that is. But you go to potatoes, and this thing is 65 horsepower, 3.2 meters topper. Good, good working width. Lower horsepower than the beet one, but the working width on this thing is 1.8 meters. And is basically that little piece there. Well, I was watching this YouTube video where they had a windrower, which basically had the sugar beet working width. So, that working width, but it was just a shovel. It was just a shovel. It dug into the ground, lifted the potatoes up onto the mesh grid, and then dropped them all off the side. And about halfway through the video, they called it a potato windrower. So you're driving down the field, dropping potatoes off this side. You turn around and you go back the other way, dropping the potatoes out on this side. So you get a huge row of potatoes that are effectively dug up and separated from their vines and what have you. So then having this thing, not a problem, because you've got rows of potatoes. So you've pulled up 3 meters of potatoes, stuck it in a row, 3 meters of potatoes on this side and stuck it in a row, and this thing with the 1.8 meter working width is just picking them up. Oh, I am not. I am not using the single row potato harvester on this map, because if we do go into potatoes and sugar beets, you just have to look at the fields. Short of doing it in something like field 9, which is probably going to be impossible because there's walls and hedges all the way around it. But fields that you can actually move potato equipment on are kind of huge, and there's no way I am interesting. I'm using some huge potato harvesting equipment on these fields. We've got quite a lot of the map to buy, although we are quite well ensconced in this area. I don't want to do 17 because they will we'll lose our contract field. That's interesting. Fertilizing, that's, and more fertilizing. Still no harvesting. And it's already mid-autumn, but it's 6 o'clock, so I think what we will do now check out the planes going over. Get smacked in the face by the door. And I'll leave the door open because convenience. So the one I think this the main inconvenient thing about this map is having to sleep, and you have to go upstairs in the house, and that's kind of annoying. That should do us. So we're coming up to 8 o'clock, 4 hours to midnight, 6 hours in the morning. So let's sleep for 10 hours. Actually, let's sleep for 11. Put us to 7 o'clock in the morning, and there we go. Now we don't have any money at all, and it's raining. Oh, crud, it's raining. So, what do our fields look like? They are still not ready for harvest. These two are covered in... Great grief, we've got loads of weeds. Fortunately, these fields which have weeds in them, I'm not too fussed about that, because They're just oilseed radish, and we're going to grind them in when we get a chance to. Oh, rain. I am going to have to sell something though. It's a bit dark at 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's wait till the sun comes up. There we go. Okay. Great demand at Manor Egg Cell Point. We do not have chickens, so that's not a happening thing. Oh. There we go. Close sesame. So, just for the sanity of the farm, we need to figure out selling something. Right here. So we have oats. We have a lot of oats. Oat prices are going up. Canola prices. And sunflower's the other one. Oh, sunflower prices are potentially about to drop quite precipitously. We've got 1 truckload of sunflowers. Maybe we should think about selling those. What am I doing? I am... Yes. So, what price can I sell sunflowers? They're not doing too well. They're my most valuable crop, though. Hilltop stores, that's kind of convenient. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to sell the sunflowers just because we really need some money. I could sell the wool, but I don't think that's particularly worth a lot. Yeah, wool's going to be best value January, so we'll let that run through until then. But I did bring in a couple of new mods today, and yeah, as with a lot of the things, those are future planning rather than of use right now. Okay, it did stop raining, so that's good, because for some reason this trailer doesn't seem to have a roof, and I can't find one. Or I can't find the mod with it, so... Oh, we're full. We'll have fun making a 180-degree turn out of that. So that's what we'll do. We'll go this way. Now I have seen other guys, Virtual Farmer, Daggerwin, both have this Bailey trailer with a cover on it, but I don't know why mine's not working. I'm pretty sure most of my mods are fully up to date. Maybe I got the wrong one. Oops. But also a lot of the other mods I'm looking at also don't have covers on the grain trailers. then I don't think the plan is to be using most of my grain trailers during wet weather anyway. Oh, yeah. Crawled out of there a little too slow, so this is getting a workout tractor going up this hill. See the problems with the sub 200 horsepower engine, and even though, yeah, this is what, 21,000 yeah, 21,000, almost 22,000 litre trailer. We are struggling. Might take a look at shuffling around our mid-sized tractors eventually and potentially get rid of this one, replace it with a bigger engine. Yeah, 174E. So yeah, on the subject of the single row potato harvester, probably usable on some of the small Polish, Czechoslovakian, French maps that are available. Maps like the one Arthur was doing his silage farm. I'm not sure whether he's still doing that right now, but that has sort of small overlapping fields which you could do potatoes in quite easily with that harvester. And here we are. So let's make us some money. So that we can make it through to winter. There we go. We don't have negative balance anymore. $8,000 money. Yay. Wait until it locks in place. There we go. Now, there is an adapter mod that you can attach to the rear of your tractor, which extends the hitch, and that might be worth taking a look at. As I am finding us quite restricted in the turn capabilities of some of our tractors, or some of our towed implements just don't let me make use of the full turn radius of the vehicles. We are back at the farm. Oh, that's gonna be bad. I'm dead. things have happened. Oh. Yeah, bad things happened. I think that trailer's stuck. Maybe not. Okay. Okay, let's try that without getting killed. Sweet. Of course, later in the year, we're actually going to have to plant these fields with crops too. The ground's a bit wet. It's mid-fall. Let's take a look at farm planning and see what we're going to do. Stick that back under there. That's good enough, I think. Shut the lights off. Okay. I know we had some seed in the back of the Land Rover. Used all of that. That's lime. That's fertilizer. And we have some fertilizer and herbicide over here. I wonder if I can pick them up. That would be kind of no. Okay. I mean, this is more a case of they're unwieldy than they're not possible to move. They carry them. It probably is difficult. 700 litres. Oh dear. Okay, you can go there, and I'll drag the other one over as well. We're completely out of herbicide for now. Apart from the dregs that remain in this tub. Put that down and pick it up from lower down. There we go. Just picking it up at the right angle will get you where you want to be. Put this next to. Alright, so what else do we need to take care of? Oh, we probably need to take care of the sheep. That's a lot of water. Nope, wrong one. Oh, there's a reasonable need for hay. Let's go get some. Hopefully these sheep don't notice that the gate's open. Sometimes at times like this, a 3-point hitch fork would be totally adequate for what we need to do. Oh, that was what I found. I supposedly have found an auto-load bale fork. So we might try making use of that, because at the moment I'm using a pallet fork for all of this work. Also might consider, if I get a front loader JCB, maybe getting an Arian 600 with a bigger engine and using that for pottering around in the yard, or using both of them for, oops, it goes up here. Yes, auto-load pallet fork would be ideal. So what I'm saying, yeah, that's what I've been saying. I'm kind of trying to avoid using the auto-load script trailers. So, what is it? Universal Autoloader, UAL trailers for loading stuff on. I don't think I've got one on this farm. I've got a bale stacker, or a bale collection trailer. So it's easy enough to pick up whatever it is, 16, 14 bales with that and herd them down to the store, or herd them down to the farm. But dog ran off. I'm sure he was there. There he is. My dog. Okay. It's up to me there. But stacking pallets and trailers is just a complete pain in the butt. And sometimes bales. But as I said, I kind of want to avoid using the auto-load stuff. So, but I will have no qualms about using an auto-load bale fork, just because picking stuff up and